Medieval Knights remains unearthed in Gdańsk, Poland, a time capsule from the past. A remarkable discovery has been made in the Polish city of Gdańsk, where the remains of a man thought to be a medieval knight were unearthed beneath a tombstone dating back to the 13th or 14th century. This significant find occurred during excavations at the site of a well-known former ice cream shop, which adds an intriguing twist to the story. Last month, archaeologists uncovered a limestone tombstone featuring an image of a knight clad in chainmail, wielding a shield and sword. This site is particularly noteworthy as it was previously home to the oldest known wooden church in Poland, which dates back to the 12th century. The discovery of the tombstone led to a deeper investigation into the grave, and just last week, the regional conservator of monuments excitedly announced on social media, "We got him." This announcement came after skeletal remains were found approximately 30 centimeters below the tombstone. The remains belong to a man who is estimated to have stood around 180 centimeters, 5 feet 11 inches tall, a considerable height for that era, as noted by the conservator. Initially, researchers had anticipated a height of about 150 centimeters based on the tombstone's dimensions. Preliminary assessments suggest he was a robust individual, likely over 40 years old, stated Alexandra Pudlow from the Archaeological Museum, as reported by Gdańsk, PL, the city's official website. The researchers are almost certain that the individual buried here held knightly status, and the nature of the tombstone indicates that he was likely a person of considerable importance and wealth. This tombstone is believed to be the only one of its kind ever discovered in Poland. Sylwia Krzyńska from Archaeoscan, which participated in the excavation, remarked, "This was likely a leader or someone who enjoyed special recognition and respect." However, the absence of his coat of arms complicates efforts to identify the man. Gdańsk, PL mentions that Gdańsk was captured by the Teutonic Knights in 1308, but it is also possible that the remains belong to someone associated with the local house of Sobieslaw ruling dynasty. The excavation site is located between Grodzka, Siekienica, and Chopwa streets in Gdańsk, an area that was previously famous for the ice cream shop, Ms., which operated from 1962 until 2023. For the past 2 years, this location has been an active archaeological site, as a company that purchased the land for development was required to conduct archaeological research before any construction could commence. In late 2024, archaeologists made another significant discovery at this site, unearthing the remains of a wooden church measuring 14 by 14 meters, dated to around 1140, making it the oldest known church in the city. Adjacent to this church, a cemetery containing over 200 graves was found, with 8 of them featuring tombstones, one of which is believed to belong to the medieval knight. In a related archaeological find, a well-preserved wooden sculpture of a human face, estimated to be 1,000 years old, was discovered at the bottom of a lake in Poland. The archaeologists involved in this discovery have stated that it opens a fascinating discussion on the spiritual life of early medieval Slavs. This remarkable series of discoveries not only sheds light on the historical significance of Gdańsk, but also raises questions about the identities and lives of those who lived during the medieval period. What do you think about the implications of these findings? Could they change our understanding of the region's history? Share your thoughts in the comments. Uncovering history, the medieval knight found beneath an ice cream parlor. Imagine uncovering the full skeleton of a medieval knight hidden beneath what is now a closed ice cream shop in Gdańsk, Poland, a discovery that has sent ripples through the archaeological community. But here's where it gets fascinating. This is not just any skeletal find. It's an exceptionally well-preserved, complete burial accompanied by a rare, intricately carved tombstone depicting the knight himself. Archaeological experts have been excavating the site in Gdańsk's historic city center, Śródmieście, since 2023. Their initial discovery was a medieval tombstone, carved with a detailed relief of a knight wearing chainmail and holding a sword and shield. The tombstone, made from prized Gotland limestone known for its use in medieval artistry, was only lifted in July, revealing the full skeleton beneath, dating back to approximately the 13th or 14th century. Sylwia Krzyńska, The lead archaeologist and director of Archaeoscan, a Polish archaeology company, called the discovery one of the most significant archaeological finds in Poland in recent years. The tombstone itself is about 150 centimeters, almost 5 feet, long, and despite some damage, the artistry is still impressively visible. Remarkably, the limestone slab has survived centuries underground with many details preserved, which is unusual given that soft limestone is generally prone to faster decay. What truly sets this tombstone apart from typical medieval grave markers is its vivid portrayal of the knight standing with his sword raised. This pose likely symbolizes leadership and elevated status in medieval society, contrasting with the majority of late medieval tombstones that usually featured only inscriptions, family crests, or Christian symbols rather than a detailed human figure. Most depictions from that era were simplistic engravings on flat stones used in church floors rather than such detailed relief work on burial monuments. And this is the part most people miss. The combination of exquisite artwork and the pristine archaeological context is unique. When the stone was lifted, it revealed a skeleton of a man who stood between 170 and 180 centimeters tall, roughly 5 feet 7 inches to 5 feet 11 inches, which was notably taller than the medieval average height. The bones were found positioned naturally, confirming that the tombstone was marking his original resting place. The preservation of the remains is excellent, giving researchers rich material for further study. No artifacts or grave goods were found alongside the skeleton, but Krzyzewska emphasizes that all evidence points to the man having been part of the medieval elite, almost certainly a knight or a respected military leader. The grave belonged to a cemetery that contained nearly 300 burials and was adjacent to the oldest known church in Gdańsk, constructed with oak timber dated to 1140. This church was located within an early medieval stronghold occupied from the late 11th century through to the early 14th century, underscoring the site's historical gravity. Krzyzewska describes this area as a powerful nexus of faith, authority, and mortuary tradition, symbolizing both spiritual and political dimensions in Gdańsk's medieval history. This recent discovery not only reveals details about the military elite of the time, but also sheds light on medieval funerary customs and the cultural interactions across the Baltic region. The team is now engaged in a meticulous process of cleaning and stabilizing the tombstone, preparing it for comprehensive documentation including 3D scanning to digitally reconstruct missing elements. Meanwhile, the skeleton will undergo anthropological and genetic analyses aimed at revealing more about the knight's origins, health, and life story. They also plan to create a facial reconstruction from the skull, providing a tangible connection to the past. This discovery challenges us to rethink how much art and social status influenced medieval burial practices and the ways these practices connected with broader cultural exchanges. Could this find hint at a more complex social hierarchy or a richer artistic tradition among medieval knights than previously believed? What does it say about how history can literally lie hidden beneath modern life? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe finds like this could rewrite parts of medieval history, or do they reinforce what we already know? Share your opinions and engage with others in the comments to dive deeper into this captivating story. Rare medieval knight's tomb found under Polish ice cream parlor. A secret from the depths. Medieval knight's tomb discovered beneath popular Polish ice cream shop, and this changes how we see history. Imagine buying an ice cream cone, completely unaware that beneath your feet lies a window into the distant past. In a discovery that's turning heads and stirring debate, archaeologists in Poland have unearthed the remarkably well-preserved tomb of a medieval knight, hidden for centuries beneath what was once the bustling Lodziarnia, Ms. Ice Cream Parlor in Gdańsk. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. What they found is exceptionally rare, even for a country steeped in medieval legacy. The unexpected find: a knight rests beneath the streets. Gdańsk, a stunning port city famed for its vibrant buildings along the Motlowa River, has long been a magnet for tourists and historians alike. Yet few suspected the secrets it still guarded at the intersection of Sikianiksa and Grodzka streets in the city's most historic heart, Śródmieście. Archaeology company Archaeoscan made the announcement this month, revealing that this area was once a 13th-century cemetery, set adjacent to what is now known as Poland's oldest wooden church. But here's the twist. According to detailed scientific analysis, dendrochronology, this ancient church was built from oak trees felled around 1140, making it the oldest wooden place of worship discovered in all of Poland. Talk about standing the test of time. The grave of an elite knight, craftsmanship and clues. What set this tomb apart wasn't simply its age. The slab covering the grave dates back to the late 13th or early 14th century and was crafted from limestone imported all the way from Gotland, an island in Sweden. Why import such a stone unless to honor someone of extraordinary status? And here's the part most people miss. The artistry on the tombstone is exceptional. Despite centuries underground and being carved from delicate limestone, the faint image of a man clad in full chainmail and leggings, complete with sword and shield, remains clearly visible. Experts note that such figural tombstones, depicting life-size armored figures, are extremely uncommon in Poland, especially from that time period. This speaks volumes about the knight's importance. Questions without answers. Who was he? And was he Teutonic? Lively debate surrounds the identity of the knight. While it's tempting to link any medieval knight from Gdańsk to the powerful and controversial Teutonic Order, those crusading knights who left such a mark on Polish history, archaeological found no direct evidence, such as insignias or inscriptions, to support such a connection. Could this have been an independent local hero, or perhaps even someone of foreign origin? A glimpse into life and death, what the skeleton reveals. Once the tomb slab was carefully lifted, archaeologists were amazed to find the knight's skeleton in pristine condition, bones perfectly aligned, just as they were laid to rest centuries ago. Initial analysis suggests the man was between 5 feet 5 inches and 5 feet 9 inches tall, significantly above average for his era. Strikingly, no grave goods, like weapons or jewelry, were found alongside him, leaving more questions about his story. And this discovery could fill major gaps in our understanding of medieval Gdańsk. With modern technology, researchers plan to conduct genetic analysis in hopes of uncovering details about his health, age at death, family background, and even his daily diet. Why does this matter? The hidden story of medieval Poland. Combined with the ancient church and cemetery nearby, the knight's resting place paints a rich, multi-layered picture of early medieval Gdańsk, a city at a crossroads of faith, power, and culture. Isotopic testing and even possible facial reconstruction promise to bring us even closer to the people of this distant era. Not everyone is convinced this find will alter the historical narrative. Some argue Poland's medieval history is already well documented. But archaeological stands by its claim. This is among the most significant discoveries in recent Polish archaeology, providing rare insight into burial customs, artistry, and the symbolism of knights in the Middle Ages. The conversation is just starting. What do you think? Does this knight's tomb rewrite what we thought we knew about Gdańsk's medieval past? Or is this just one more intriguing clue in an already rich tapestry? And who, in your opinion, do you think this mysterious knight could have been? A local defender, a Teutonic crusader, or someone else entirely? Share your thoughts below and jump into the debate. History is very much alive, and your opinion matters.